SBN, Sports Business Now. SBN is a division of Row 27, the digital sports marketing company, celebrating 5 years of creating TV spots, intro videos, and microsites for over 150 teams. See our work at row27.com. And by FanMaker, digital marketing tools for sports teams, featuring FanMaker Rewards, the most comprehensive and popular fan loyalty and reward system. Learn more about our apps at fanmaker.com. SBN, Sports Business Now.
Hey everybody, and welcome to SBN Interview Series. I'm Holly Koski, and the SBN Interview Series interviews, tech companies and how they relate to the sports industry. So bringing that private sector into the sports industry. So today we have Darr Gerscovich of Stipple. Darr, how's it going? And did I say your last name right?
That was great, Holly. It's a gorgeous day in San Francisco, so no complaints from this end. Thanks.
Well, good to hear. So Stipple is, a really cool tool that lets consumers buy products through photo sharing on social networks. Talk to me a little bit about, what it is and how it works.
Yeah. So Stipple is well known now on the social realm, but we're actually covering much more than that. Essentially, what we enable are brands to advertise through images that contain their products and spokespeople. And that happens in stream on Facebook and Twitter. It happens on tier 1 publishers across the web, and as well on mobile devices.
So we're just looking at your website here, and obviously it has, just a still picture, and then it has kind of different kind of media-rich things embedded, correct?
Yeah, so the notion, or I should say the expression that a picture's worth 1,000 words has been around for as long as I know, at least.
Right.
However, an image, a picture without context, really I would say is about 200 words worth, not necessarily 1,000. And so what we enable is this interactive media that you just referenced, and it allows a brand or a consumer to really tell that image's story. So you can essentially add a video to an image to help understand what was happening at the time. You can add additional pictures. You can add the ability to like basically a Facebook button, right, to like that brand or that product. And so it really brings an image to life and allows, from a brand perspective, allows brands to drive much deeper engagement with their fans, as well as commerce opportunities.
So, and then we'll look at an example of the Shell Motorsports here in a second. But, you mentioned kind of the goal. Is it engagement, or is it, e-commerce? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, the goal for specifically around brands is I'd say is twofold. It's driving deeper engagement, which
Right.
actually can start as high as on the marketing funnel, shall we say, as awareness, driving deeper engagement all the way through the sale. And our premise is that when a consumer is seeing an image, seeing a picture, they want to know more about that picture, and they don't necessarily want to go elsewhere to go find out more. So they don't want to have to open additional browsers, do searches, click additional links that send them elsewhere. They want the information right then and there. And so that's what we enable through that image on social media, as well as on top-tier websites, as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, definitely a one-stop shop, kind of creating everything all in one area so people don't, like you said, have to go to different tabs and everything like that. So is it more for a brand or an individual? Like who can, stipple, if that's a verb, a picture?
We love the verb.
Okay, good.
It's everyone. It is everyone. And if you look at just our homepage, you'll see there's things there from Major League Baseball. You mentioned Shell Motorsports. The Sims, the video game, is launching a new game, and they're on there. And then there's also consumers that want to tell the stories of the pictures that they took when they were on vacation. And so, it can be from a consumer, it can be, I'm on the beach, but I want to show a video of the beach, and I want to tag the people that are there, and I want to show you the hotel. And all of a sudden, that picture comes to life, and it really is, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Right, and here we're looking at, a picture where it has some of your shopping tags on there as well. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that's very powerful from the point of view of a brand, and this really goes to what I was mentioning earlier. Is um, there are a lot of images on the internet and exploding. We just heard from a Web Trends 2013 report that came out yesterday. There are over 500 million images that are uploaded and shared per day. Massive, massive amount. A lot of those are consumer generated, but a lot of those happen to be brand images that a consumer might, for example, like something from the Dallas Cowboys or from Shell, grab it and put it on their blog, put it on their social feed. Um, and it's super, super powerful if a brand can actually put some messaging or advertising in an image that contains their product, because it's relevant. It's not a spammy ad. It's like, this is my product in the image. As a consumer that's looking at the image, they're obviously interested in it, so it makes a lot of sense. And so the shop tag, as we call what you just referenced, is essentially the ability to identify the product, the brand, and the price that's within the image. And by clicking on that shop button, in that instance, it takes you, the consumer, directly to the product page of the website of the product you're looking at, where you should see that product and that price, and then the ability to, of course, make the purchase.
And then what's involved on the brand's end? Do they have to, go in and manually do everything, or kind of talk about the process with that?
Great question. It really depends on which of our offerings, and we have 3 offerings. The first that I'll talk about is social media, which is essentially a brand pushing out their images in stream on Facebook and Twitter. That's essentially self-serve. The brand will upload the image into Stipple on stipple.com. From there, they essentially place the dots that you see on those images, those engagement points. They'll place those on the image and then embed the content. So if they want, for example, a YouTube video, they would just drop in the URL video, and then the URL link for that video. We automatically recognize that it's a video, and then a video player appears. So that's the social side. In the editorial side, where a brand can, for example, advertise in images that contain their products or their spokespeople on tier 1 publishers, that involves a relationship with Stipple that is more like a typical display advertising campaign, in the sense that they would work with us to execute that campaign. But it's from the moment an image is stippled with dots to the moment those dots appear on those images that are already out in the wild is a matter of seconds. So it really is real time.
And Justin Timberlake just released his new album, and you guys had a relationship with him for engagement purposes. Talk a little bit about that type of success that he's had with Stipple.
Yeah, that's a great story. I'm glad you're mentioning it. So Justin Timberlake, for those that might not be following him as closely as his 30 million something fans are on Facebook and Twitter, essentially released a new album, his new album in 6 years. And so what he did is, the lead up to that album is he wanted to generate a lot of excitement for his fans. And so he actually had his campaign with us involved 3 different components. The first was releasing the album art. So what is the cover essentially to the new album? And what he did that was really interesting is he embedded within that the album art that he released through Stipple, the track list, so the names of the songs on that album. And so the only way for a Timberlake fan or anyone globally to find out what were the names on the songs on the new album was essentially to interact with that album art. He then, in conjunction with Jay-Z, was doing a stadium tour, and so again through Stipple was able to send out images of he with Jay-Z, of the 2 of them, but he was able to add links to his music to watch the music video. He was also able to add links to Live Nation to purchase the tickets and provide directly in the image more information of the stadium tour. And I think that's very applicable to what sports franchises might be interested in terms of events, right? To be able to actually sell tickets through images. And the last thing Timberlake did with us was, again, in the anticipation of the release of the album, the third component was he was hosting Saturday Night Live was with Jimmy Fallon, and so again driving awareness. The cumulative effort across those 3 aspects that I just described drove 74% engagement. which is nuts. Like how many mediums are there that you can drive such high engagement? And to throw out an additional statistic is the amount of clicks that we were able to drive through that campaign to Live Nation and other places that the Timberlake team wanted us to drive clicks to was equivalent to a display campaign that would have had 40 million impressions.
Wow.
We achieved that with a little over 500,000 image views. So it's super, super engaging, and the ability to engage with an image is really drives a lot of engagement, and is hard to beat elsewhere.
Yeah, and that's a great segue into really how teams and how athletics, how this applies to athletics. How can teams use Stipple in their photos? Right now, we're looking at Dallas Cowboys showcasing some of their product, but what are some other ways?
Yeah, so Dallas Cowboys is a great example, using us on Twitter and Facebook to basically drive selling of merchandise. We're also working, for example, with Major League Baseball. It's an ability to drive more engagement with fans, show images and pictures of the latest game, show stats, show highlight reels. And it's also the ability to drive commerce, right? We talked about the merchandising piece, and then as I alluded to when I was talking about Justin Timberlake, is the ability to drive sales for events that are upcoming in that venue as well.
And finally, where can somebody who's interested in Stipple find you guys?
Absolutely. So our best place to look is stipple.com. That's STIPPLE.com, and you can open an account and start stippling.
Stipple away, indeed. Very cool stuff. Thank you so much, Darr, for joining us. I know I will be definitely starting to stipple as well. So thank you for joining us.
Nice chatting with you, Holly.
And thank you for joining us as well. And you can find us anytime on sportsbusinessnow.com or on Twitter at SBNow. We'll see you next time.
SBN, Sports Business Now.